Vitas Gerulaitis, the playboy of the tennis world who is nearly as fast on his feet as his 2 Rolls Royces and his Ferrari. He now leads the league in singles and total offense.
Ilia Nastase, truly one of the great all-around athletes in the world. He is the player coach for the Los Angeles Strings. If you follow tennis, you know that when Nastase's on the court, it can be exciting and different.
These are only 2 of the world-class players you'll be seeing in tonight's World Team Tennis action. From the fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California, it's the New York Apples against the Los Angeles Strings. Good evening and welcome. I'm Julie Heldman, here along with former University of Southern California tennis player Charlie Jones. And it seems we've got all the stars tonight. We've got Billie Jean King, Chris Evert, Nastase, Gerulaitis. You notice I said the women first. Charlie, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
I'm glad you mentioned the women first because that's where they belong. They are number 1. Tonight, well, the New York Apples are finally at full strength. Billie Jean King has been having a throat problem. She is now well. Gerulaitis has been around the world. He is back. They're at full strength. I've got to go with the Apples. They're going to be tough tonight.
You go with the Apples, I'll go with the Strings. They've got home court advantage, and they've got the number 1 woman, Chris Evert. We also have another former number 1, Lynn Shackelford, on the great UCLA basketball teams, and now a prominent West Coast broadcaster. Lynn?
Thank you, Julie. I'll have an interview with the winners of each match as the evening progresses, as well as interviews with players from both teams at various times, and anything else significant down here on the court as the match goes on. Julie?
Thank you, Lynn. In the standings, New York, the World Team Tennis defending champs, are still in second place in the East behind Boston, even though they beat them once last week. Amazingly, New York has lost nearly as many matches in April and May of 1978 as they did all last year.
In the West, the Los Angeles Strings have their work cut out for them. They're currently in 3rd place. They're 5 games behind the San Diego Friars, and the Friars are going to be tough this year.
As you probably know, this match tonight is on videotape. That's so that we can show you the very best of tonight's action here on Home Box Office. In the first set of the night, Los Angeles' Vijay and Ashok Amritraj upset Vitas Gerulaitis and Ray Ruffles. The Amritraj brothers of Madras, India and Marina del Rey, California were all over the net, poaching and crossing at will, while the Apples team looked sluggish and prone to error. So, going into the women's singles between Chris Evert and Joanne Russell, Los Angeles had a surprise lead of 6 games to 3.
In the women's singles, it will be Chris Evert of the Los Angeles Strings against Joanne Russell of the New York Apples. The Strings won the men's doubles 6-3, and they lead. The key in the women's singles. Julie.
Joanne Russell's serve. Chris Evert's the better player, but Joanne's going to have to serve well to get into the net to beat her. Joanne's a great volleyer, Wimbledon champion last year in the women's doubles. But she's going to have to serve well, and she hasn't been recently. See that bend in her knee? That's the problem, I think.
And this is Everett's game. Russell has to come to the net. She forces Chris up. He puts it away.
And Chris is going to be very happy playing in front of this hometown crowd. She loves to have people for her. She looks over to her bench for assurance all the time. She likes the crowd to be on her side. I think we're going to have over 9,000 tonight.
Good crowd here at the Forum. Russell comes to the net and puts it away, 1-1. That's their key right there. She has to do it to win.
She's got to serve well and get in. Admittedly, Chris has the finest ground strokes in the world, but you can sometimes pin her back, particularly on this fast court. Chris says, I feel amazingly at home on clay. I love clay. I can do everything there, but I'm amazed that I can beat the best players in the world on fast courts.
Outside. 1-2.
Charlie, I just can't believe this bend in the knee that Joanne's doing before she serves. First of all, she's got to get tired doing it.
She has not gotten a first serve in yet.
Real problem she's been having for the last couple of weeks, I hear, and it's been hurting the New York Apples, particularly while Billie Jean's been out sick.
1-2, no ad score. Russell at the net. She'll put it away here. No. She misses outside. She tried it inside of Chris, thinking that she would go to the open side. Chris simply stayed there, and it's 1-3. Mental error by Russell. Should have put it away. That is the first serve she has gotten in, and comes to the net behind it.
2-3.
2-3. We're still at break point.
Joanne Russell recently has been helped by Dennis Ralston, last year's Los Angeles World Team Tennis coach. Now he's helping out a lot of players, helped Joanne this winter.
Coming to the net behind his second serve, it's outside.
Los Angeles.
And the game is Chris Evert. Chris Evert serving in the near court. The Strings now lead the Apples 7-3. Everett leads 1-0.
So far, Charlie, I'm liking my prediction of home court advantage. So far.
Double fault.
Double fault.
Bad way to start
0-1.
mentally.
She also missed it by a country mile.
Los Angeles has not lost here in the Forum in their last 6 matches. 3 bad serves in a row.
Slice. Chris going to Joanne's backhand.
Outside. 1 off.
A lot of people think that if you can't beat Chris by going to the net against her, you got to bring her in, and that was a little bit of what Joanne did just there.
Excuse me, it is 0-2.
Bad bounce.
Chris puts it away. Interesting. When Russell is on the attack, she's attacking Chris's forehand, even though that's not the open court.
Good reason. Chris makes a lot more forehand mistakes than she does backhand mistakes. But unfortunately for Joanne, Chris knows it. She knows where the ball's going.
Outside.
1-3.
And the theory is, of course, if you give Chris 4,000 forehands to hit and finally give her a backhand, she'll miss it. She just missed that one. Theory doesn't always work against Chris Evert.
Again to Chris's forehand. Time and time again.
Oh!
Great. Off court.
Chris Evert misses a lot of forehands inside out. She misses very few when she goes cross court because she can pull up and over. When she goes inside out, she doesn't shift her hips enough, or she overshifts them actually. She pulls her body through too soon.
Break point for Russell. Now she attacks off the backhand. And she has the break.
Game New York. Game is 1-all.
The Games are 1-all in the set, and 7-4 Los Angeles leads in the match. Joanne Russell of New York serving from the far court. Chris Evert of Los Angeles receiving in the near court. That's a guessing game. Russell does not guess. She stays right there. 0-1.
It was a guessing game because of Chris's lovely return of serve. That's the problem. Even when you serve well against Chris, she was a great returner.
1-all. Interesting point that you make. So many times we talk about the put away. That is actually not the shot. It was 1 or 2 before that set it up, that started the whole string.
You're dead right, Charlie Jones.
Fault call. Pounding through the backhand, and Everett puts it away.
And again, Charlie, it was the previous shot that set it up. She got Joanne wrong-footed, in trouble, and then the put away.
Russell, trouble with her service. 9 first serves, only 2 of them have been in play thus far.
It's terrible.
And now, 2 for 10 first serves. That's only 20% of her first services in play.
And the good players go 80%.
Have to. You're right.
I used to have 10%.
Outside.
1-3.
Well, going for a 100% score here. Nobody winning serve yet.
That's what Russell has to do. Serve strong, come to the net, and put the first volley away.
2-3.
And she's so good even on the leap volley. Backhand volleys look particularly good here tonight. Great serve.
In behind it again.
Chris guessed right again. Can you believe that? Chris guesses right every time.
Russell is always going behind her also. Not going to the open court. 3-all. Now Chris will decide that she wants to receive in the ad court.
The ad, of course, coming from previous scoring systems.
That's right. I'm sorry. Should be the backhand court.
Game New York. Billy 2-1.
Game to New York.
Joanne Russell, I just can't understand why she does that knee bend on her serve. She used to have, I thought, a much more fluid-looking serve, and she almost looks muscle-bound. Maybe the reason is the whole New York team has gotten Billie Jean King's addiction to the Nautilus system of weights. We've got an interesting thing here that Russell did to Chris before. And this is how you win the point. Absolutely typical what you call pattern play. Wide to one side, go to the open court on the other side. Supposed to work on that for a long time. That was one of those that Joanne had that worked.
Chris Evert of the Los Angeles Strings will be serving in the far court to Joanne Russell of the New York Apples in the near court. This is Julie Hellman along with Charlie Jones. Lynn Shackelford is the courtside for us in our coverage today. Second set of the 5 sets in the match. Everett serving to the back half.
0-1.
0-1.
That was always my best shot.
Love
Really, I prayed for those.
the net chords. Bad bounce.
Chris Evert heaven. Ground strokes, ground strokes. She eat that up all day long.
I just didn't think the ball came up strong enough. 1-1.
I think you're probably right. Good return.
Return, super return. Russell has the advantage on the point. And this time, Everett, for the first time in the match, guesses wrong.
1-2.
She guessed very early, actually. Might have been a blur across Joanne Russell's vision. They tell me that tennis players have extra special peripheral vision.
You should know. You're a great one.
Well, I wouldn't say great, but I accept the compliment.
You didn't, I did.
2 all.
2-all.
Also, tennis players have IQs from not very big to very big, but they all have this extra special spatial sense. Like basketball players. You turn them around and they still know where the basket is.
Good volley. Russell puts it away.
2-3.
And she's hit 2 very fine return of serves from the right court, and it's break point.
Chance to break Everett for the second time in this set. Russell moves Everett to her forehand side, set her up beautifully.
Game off.
(3-1). Joanne Russell leading Everett.
Joanne.
Women's singles. Go ahead, Julie.
Joanne looking very good at the moment. Hitting good forehands and a backhand. Her forehand used to be her big one. She's put some fine backhands in.
Still having a problem with the first serve. Super return by Everett.
0-1.
Joanne is still having problems with her serve, but she's the only woman on this singles court who has won her serve so far. She won it at 3 points all last time.
Russell at the net. This is an easy put away. Elbow.
Elbow.
0-2.
Does get snug when you have time to think.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it gets snug all the way up to the shoulder. Good
Good
serve.
first serve. Now she should put it away, and she does.
1-2.
When we were last here in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago, Chris Everett went down to Marita Redondo, a power player who had her way that night. And it looks like that's what Chris doesn't like, the big power plays.
Strong first serve. This is the volley.
1-3.
Joanne Russell perhaps got some of her power from that Nautilus stuff, as I said she was doing earlier, doing a lot of training every day along with Billie Jean King.
Let call.
Other members of the Apples team who were doing that Nautilus exercise training are Julie Anthony and Fred Stolle, the coach, who says he feels better for doing it.
Outside. Everett controlling the point, puts it away.
Game Los Angeles.
Everett with 2 service breaks.
That is a lot of cash. Chris Everett and Ilie Nastase both signed for one heap of money with the Los Angeles Strings. Both for approximately the same amount of money, actually. Owner Jerry Buss must have a lot of greenbacks.
crowds continue like they are here at the Forum tonight, it's a good investment. Russell is moving Everett around a little more. Baseline game. You cannot play that game with Chris, as you mentioned earlier. She is simply too tough. 2-0.
Russell trying to move forward on her backhand. Take it on the rise. Good tactic, tough shot. I think that's the fourth winner or ball that produced a winner that Russell's hit on the forehand down the line return. She's very good at that one.
Outside. Three one. Everett has 5 winning points on baseline rallies. Russell has 1 winning point in a baseline rally. And that's about how you do when you play that game with Chris. Volley into the net.
Game Los Angeles.
Game to the string, and it is now 3-all in the set. On HBO, a great day, Sunday, June the 11th, the Men's USGF Championships Part 1. And 2 of the outstanding men that you will see, Bart Connor and Olympian Kurt Thomas. I saw Kurt in Romania winning the Romanian Invitational, and he is something else to watch. He could well become the Nadia Comaneci of men's gymnastics. He has the Thomas flair that he does on the pommel horse and on the floor exercise. Outstanding. Be sure to watch it here on HBO.
Seconds.
This is Charlie Jones and Julie Hellman. We're at the Forum, and it is 3-3 in the women's singles. Chris does not look as strong serving, and Russell is trapped herself into playing the baseline game with Chris, and if you do that, you're going to lose. Can Russell come to the net with enough strength and enough forcing shot, to keep this up for the set?
She could. It's team tennis. Anything can happen here, and we've seen it all happen. She just has to make sure to do it.
Everett with an excellent service return.
0-1.
Lovely. Joanne, strangely enough, seems to be getting caught on a few mid-court volleys. She's great when she makes a decision. Sometimes her reflexes are not lightning.
Still with a problem with that first serve. 45% of her first serves have been in play.
It's better than her earlier 20%.
Yes, she got a hot streak going.
Right.
1-all.
Good forcing second serve. 1-all.
Ooh,
Oh, that's it.
That's a beautiful volley.
And that's what she has to do.
Joanne Russell was not a great junior tennis player. She really developed herself when she was at Trinity University in San Antonio.
3-1.
Joanne is not what you'd call a household name, even though she won Wimbledon doubles last year with Helen Gourlay-Cauley. But she is a rising force. She's now ranked 5 in America. Great serve.
Strong first serve. Outside.
New York.
Game to New York. Chris Everett serving in the near court. Joanne Russell for New York receiving in the far court. Excellent save on the lob. No, it was too long. Ooh, I thought she had it. 0-1.
If you're a constant World Team Tennis watcher, you know for sure that it's not just the set score that counts, it's the whole game score between the two teams. And that means Joanne's got extra pressure on her because the men's doubles team of New York lost 6-3.
Everett has been getting 70% of her first serves in play. And yet she was very shaky when she started serving.
Early double fault. She's smoothed up her service action a lot in the last couple of years.
She got a bad bounce.
Oh, yeah.
That power backhand of Everett's is dynamite. Oh. Deep backhand cross court. Russell now in control of the point. And Everett regains control after losing it. Great point.
Charlie, I'm going to take back what I said about Joanne's backhand being her lesser shot before. It looks stronger than her forehand. She likes to pound it, and these backhand cross-court rallies are something else.
2-1. Russell have to hurry. Outside.
3-1.
3-1.
Interesting. Joanne seems like Yvonne Goolagong to be forgetting the score a lot of the time.
It's there. Forehand put away.
3-2.
3-2. Strong shot. Service a little weak. Russell in behind.
Was that her number 5 forehand winner down the line?
Yes. You cannot play pat ball either with Evans. Game to Los Angeles, games for all.
Games are for all.
Charlie, I'm changing my mind yet again about Joanne Russell, who's playing very well here tonight. Her backhand is wonderful on the offense. On the defense, that's where she can't do it as well. On the offense, it's her better shot.
Good first serve. In the net behind it. And it picks up the half volley for the winner.
1-0.
That's often the best place to volley to Chris is very short. Make her move forward. Much more used to running side to side.
Joanne's predominant winning points on first volley and that forehand down the line that you were talking. There it is.
2-0.
2-0.
Joanne has had a little trouble beating most of the World Team Tennis players, but has a win over Martina Navratilova recently.
Oh, backhand down the line.
2-1.
Set tied at 4-4. Match score, Los Angeles 10, New York 7. Ball call. Great return. Against Everett, that first serve all important because she jumps all over that second serve.
Quite right. She's the most feared returner of serve. Mainly because of her consistency. She's always just hurting you enough. Sometimes big, sometimes she's hurting you more than enough.
And I don't think you don't think about it when you toss the ball in the air on that second serve either.
It's true. Enough to make your knees quiver.
And it breaks your concentration of what you want to do.
It's true, because you see Joanne sometimes coming in and missing an easy volley. She's thinking about the return.
2-all. Good save, puts it away.
3-2.
Joanne Russell has raised her game remarkably the second half of this set. Chris Evert still playing her normal.
Brilliant self.
Yes, thank you for finishing that. She's not outstanding for her, but she's playing a very high level of tennis. Double fault.
Double fault. That is the first double fault. Wait a minute. Was it a left?
No, it was a double fault, sudden death. 3 points all.
All right.
Everett chooses, left side. Not the right time for the big serve.
No. To get it in play. Now you're facing the easy second serve. Everett with the advantage here.
Good serve, though. Great.
Chris hits short. Russell comes behind it. Saves it with a lob. Russell wants to come to the net so badly.
She can't get anywhere near it.
No.
Oh!
Winner for Russell.
Game we all.
Had it all the way.
While we have a moment, let's see that interview that Lynn Shackelford did before the match with Billie Jean King.
Billy, I guess the first obvious question is, how's the health?
I feel much better, and I'm really happy that the doctors allowed me to come for the last part of the road trip. The team's been on the road for about 6 or 7 days, and I had to stay in New York and just listen to the matches on radio, which drove me crazy.
You did pretty well. You had a string of 9 straight wins in singles. That's outstanding.
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't feeling very well to do that, and I was really working very hard, and I didn't realize I was still sick because I've been sick off and on since December, and I think this time I'm finally, I hope, cross my fingers over everything.
Is there a chance that you might be 100% and ready to go by the time Wimbledon is played?
Well, I better be, because I'm playing 3 events where my partners are going to have a real load. They have to hold me up.
Who are you going to play with in doubles, women's?
Women's doubles, Martina Navratilova, and mixed doubles with Ray Ruffles, who's also on the New York Apples team.
And once again, it looks like the New York Apples are maybe on their way to another championship. This team seems to be awfully strong again.
We're strong, but I must say our record isn't as good, and I think a lot of it's to do with Vitas being away in Rome for a while, and then I've been sick, and so we really haven't been a complete team yet this year for any real length of time, and I think that it's really showed that our record's only 9-8 right now, and it's the first year I've ever played team tennis where the team's really had that bad a record with this good of players. So I think now that we're all together again that our chances will go up in really having a good record.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, Lynn.
For Chris Evert thus far, 8 of her 12 winning points have been in a baseline rally. Chris trailing in the set, 4-5. Stay down.
1-0.
1-0.
Chris Evert looking a little tight there on that serve. She feels the pressure too. She's very human. Looks over to her bench for help.
Drop shot is set.
Great reflex from Joanne Russell. Caught the ball behind her. Quick thought. Chris Evert does get nervous too, you know.
I didn't know she did. Really?
Two, one.
2-1.
Loose error and a big point.
Chris Evert with 68% of her first serves in play.
Hanging around the 70 mark, huh? Reputable.
Very.
High class.
She wanted that forehand down the line very badly.
Yep. She took a chance there. Joanne Russell at 2-1 down, instead of just going to get the ball back in play, she tried to get herself up to the net. Was the right thing to do. She just missed.
Russell with a good backhand cross court. Now a forehand cross court. She's playing Chrissy's game. And then Chris will take control of it. Everett almost came to the net.
She was on her way
Yeah.
in.
And Russell is a good baseline
Los
game.
Angeles.
But Everett's is just better, that's all. Match is tied at 5-5. The overall score, Los Angeles 11 and New York 8 in the match. Joanne Russell serving in the near court. Chris Evert receiving. This is Charlie Jones and Julie Hellman, along with Lynn Shackelford at courtside. It is 5-all in this set. If we go to 6-all, we'll have a 9-point tiebreaker. Outside.
1-0.
Both women taking a little while to get warmed up into this set, and now the tennis is extremely high quality. Joanne waiting her chance to get into the net, not picking the first ball. Chris, I think I noticed a change in Chris's play. I bet she's going to start coming to the net more, too. Last point in the last game, she tried that. That's the second bit of luck for Joanne. She got a dribbler, and then Chris missed a dribbler.
First serve in play. Good return. Outside. Good call.
2-1.
You hear Elena Stasi on the sideline there. Come on, Chris, baby. You go, baby. Here's Nasty telling.
Don't stay on that shot too long. It can be dangerous. Super return. I'm not sure she wanted to play it that fine. It was rolling outside off of the string.
Yeah, it was a super fluke.
Yeah. That's what she wanted to do, but I don't think she wanted to cut it quite that.
Well, you know, you bought the wood.
That's
you
right.
used the wood.
Of course.
She didn't bought it. She didn't buy it. It was given to him. 2 points all. 5 games all. Oh my
It's there,
heavens.
yes. Service ace.
Ace
Chris does
down
not
the
believe
middle.
it, but it is. Yes. No
3-2.
question.
Chris standing there brings Elena Stasi up to his feet. Because when that's a really big protest on Chris's
You know,
part.
I mean, you know me, but she's not cheating. I mean, she told us the ball was out.
My linesman, I couldn't see it. The
Can
linesman
you ask
good.
him again? Ask him again.
I
Can you
did.
ask him?
I did.
All right, let's watch the serve. I call it good. I call it good again.
Right on.
Yes.
On the color change.
Yes.
Yep, she caught it. So we think.
First service ace of the match. 2
jockeying for position. Great
there,
drop shot.
There, it's right back. Chris puts it away. Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's a great point.
Let's take a quick look.
Joanne's drop shot was the thing. She decided to change play, and Chris is much faster than Joanne thought and much better at the volley than most people think. It's 3 points all, 5 games all. Sudden death.
Russell holds serve. New York leads in the set 6-5.
And the pressure is now on Chris Evert.
Everett holds serve. We have a tiebreaker. Outside.
Russell a smidgen slow, running to her left. Her speed used to be her problem. She speeded up quite a bit in the last year or so.
Strong first serve by Everett. The backhand of Everett. No, and then the forehand down the line again. Interesting that she comes down the line with that forehand and is stronger than her crosscourt.
Chris thought she'd won the point. I
Yes.
think she was sitting there saying,
Yes, I did too. I did too. Loss of concentration?
Absolutely, Charlie. And it's point for tiebreaker. If Chris wins this, it's the best of 9-point tiebreaker. There'll be a lot of excitement here if she wins this point.
Here's the backhand. That'll win it. That sets it up. She'll put it away right here.
And she did.
That's it.
So they go into a tiebreaker. Joanne Russell will serve the first 2 points. Chris Evert will serve the next 2 points. Then they'll change sides. First person to win 5 points in the tiebreaker wins it and wins the set. Oh.
High return, a bad volley.
Absolutely. It's just, Joanne was reading tomorrow morning's papers, the victory. It's great tennis. It looks like there's another line call dispute. Ilie Nastase up at the net again, but Chris isn't making any motions for help from Nastase, so he's going to sit back down.
1-all in the tiebreaker.
Chris serves the next 2 points. Teammates motioning, come on, Chris.
2-1, New York.
Chris trying to make it a little too fine.
forces Russell to the net. And then puts it away behind her.
Russell still hitting those fabulous forehands down the line. Chris just outplayed her. And now they're going to change sides. No time allowed, though they can take a towel, the coach or the trainer. Joanne will serve the next 2 points, and Chris will serve, if needed, the final 3. Remember, first person to win 5 points, and it's 2 points all.
In the match, the Strings lead 12-9. The winner of this set, winner of the tiebreaker, will win it 7-6.
Oh, a second serve ace. Well, Chris didn't think so. Looking back at linesman Carver Shannon.
Let's take another look. I thought it came off the seam.
Well, let's see.
Just from the hop. Watch.
Looks like it hit
Yes.
again. I think it's just
And
another
with a
ace.
jump, and I think it jumped out on it, came off the seam.
Three-two, New York leads. Tiebreaker.
Round of applause for the false serve.
Slightly sarcastic.
Three all.
Everett, right at the hip. That's what you're supposed to do. Either at the hip or for a corner. She leads now. She doesn't lead. It's now 3 points all. She has the final 3 serves if necessary. If it's 4 points all, whoever wins the next point wins the whole thing. Joanne crossed her up.
Russell to the net. It's there, Everett.
A lot of topspin, and Everett has set point.
Ball 3, Los Angeles.
That's the kind of ball you're down on your knees praying it'll go out.
Where's the wind?
Really?
Turn up the air conditioning.
Really?
Backhand by Russell. She go down the line with a forehand. That's her strength. Has to go to her strength now. Backhand will come down the line. Forehand down the line. No, she comes cross. She loses it trying to come cross court. Her strength spin down the line. A great match. Chris Everett wins it 7-6. The Strings out in front 13-9 and a standing ovation here at the Forum.
It was a great last point here. Joanne Russell, as Charlie Jones so rightly said, choosing to go for the shot that wasn't her favorite one. In the crisis, you should always go for your favorite. She went cross court instead of down the line, and it caught the net.
With me now is Chris Everett. Chris, Joanne Russell played pretty well tonight.
Joanne played very well. I played her in a tournament, my first tournament that I came back about a month ago, and I won, I think it was 7-5 in the third. And she gave me a lot of trouble. She's a big girl. She's very aggressive. And I think she has wins over Martina and Virginia and a lot of the top women players in world team tennis. She was overpowering me, but I hung in there, and I always kind of felt that I could pull it out. So I think just because I hung in there, that's the reason I won.
You were getting a high percentage of your first serves in. I don't know if you were hitting them as well as you'd like to. Was there any particular game that you were disappointed with? Any part of your game?
Yeah, I really don't think I played the best tennis I could have. I was disappointed with my serve. I was having a lot of trouble with it. The last 6 matches that I've played here, I've won 6-2 by a 6-2 score, and I've really started to feel good about my tennis. Tonight, I was expecting to play Billie Jean, and so when I learned that I had to play Joanne, maybe it was a little bit of a letdown for me, and as a result, I didn't concentrate as well as I should have.
It was a great match to win. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
In the women's doubles, Chris Everett and Ann Kiyomura, who are not even in the top 10 in the World Team Tennis standings, beat Billie Jean King and Joanne Russell, WTT's third-place team, 6-4. There were 4 Wimbledon champs on the court. Billie Jean King didn't look match sharp after her 2-week layoff, and tiny Ann Kiyomura showed why she is considered one of the best doubles players in the world. The fourth set of the evening was the men's singles between Ilie Nastase and Vitas Gerulaitis.
In the men's singles, for Los Angeles, Ilie Nastase. For New York, Vitas Gerulaitis. Outside.
1-0.
The strength of Gerulaitis.
His speed. His forehand.
Speed and forehand.
Yes.
What does he have to do to beat Nastase?
He's got to stick in every point. Nastase goes crazy. Can do anything at any time.
2-0.
Is very good at breaking up your concentration and is lightning fast on his feet. So Vitas just has to stay with him, play very straightforward tennis, nothing much too fancy. But Vitas is a showman himself, of course. I used to think Nastase was the fastest man in the world. Maybe he was. But now he's got an inch or two around the middle. And sometimes it takes away from his speed. Looks like he's losing it again, though. Or trying to. When Jimmy Connors was in town, which he was until yesterday, Ilie was working out with his buddy.
3-1.
3-1.
In his early years, Vitas used to serve, and his second serve wasn't so good, so he'd serve and stay back. Now, since he's had a great deal of success indoors throughout the WTT tour, whenever he gets in trouble, he says, I'm going to cover the net. And so the better he does at going to the net, the more he goes in. He's been working on his serve a great deal the last 2 years, and it has improved enormously.
Double fault. 3-2.
What I think Vitas has to do then, in effect, is not play dumb. And serving a double fault is not the right way. I was taught it was the cardinal sin. The original sin. Still up 3-2.
Volleys behind him. And win. Ilie Nastase serving in the near court. Vitas Gerulaitis receiving in the far court.
Nastase, of course, playing with a loosely strung racket.
That is almost an illegal racket. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's almost like a spaghetti racket where they have, well, it's almost but not quite. Spaghetti racket, they have all kinds of chicken wire and fishing wire and everything in it.
And it's double strung. Both
Yes.
sides.
This one is strung with a different kind of string job. He's got graphite strings in there now. Gets an awful lot of extra topspin, you can see.
Topspin forehand down the line. Oh, an unbelievable shot. That is vintage Nastase.
Game Los Angeles. Games are 1-all.
Vitas Gerulaitis serving in the far court.
Against a very serious-looking Ilie Nastase.
1-0.
1-all in the set. Los Angeles leading by 6, 20-14 in the match. Los Angeles has won the previous 3 sets, 6-3, 7-6, and 6-4.
Number 2, double fault, and 1 is more than enough. It's easy to say up here, I know. But you're really not supposed to do it.
Outside.
Nastase looking much better than I have seen him recently. I know he's number 2 in the league in men's singles, but still, he hasn't been the great Nastase of old. He's been leaning backwards on his forehand, poking his volleys instead of punching them. And still, he wins a lot. Number 1 in the league, of course, Vitas Gerulaitis. His opponent here.
Fault, 3-2.
Third double fault by Gerulaitis.
Let's see if we can figure out just what's going wrong with Vitas' serve. Actually, it's Vitas' 4th double fault of the night. He had one earlier in the men's doubles.
Game New York. 2-1. Gerulaitis leading. And let's look at the serve of Vitas Gerulaitis.
Yeah, I'm not really sure there's much wrong with it. Let's see if he gets his weight underneath. Yeah. Extension, very nice. Maybe he's jumping in a little bit too soon on that left foot. We'll have to see again. But I think the main thing is he's trying to serve too well. Those crazy ground strokes and the crazy racket of Nastase are putting him off, and instead he should be getting it in deep, I think.
The Dodgers won. In a World Team Tennis match earlier tonight, the Boston Lobsters 27, New Orleans 21. In the women's singles, Martina Navratilova.
Ilie Nastase will be serving in the far court to Vitas Gerulaitis in the near court. Set score is 1-2. Service ace. First service ace of the set.
1-0.
Ilie Nastase is out there for his crowd.
An unreturned serve. Boy, he looks good.
Doesn't he look wonderful? He promised the crowd in the papers here in Los Angeles that he wasn't going to lose any home matches, and he's got a perfect record so far.
Outside.
2-1.
Gerulaitis taking the net quickly, as he will do throughout. Probably more often than not to Nastase's backhand.
Topspin forehand.
3-1.
In soccer, they call it a banana kick. In tennis, it's a looping topspin forehand.
Toughest of all balls to volley.
Really?
And why? Because it's spinning coming off of your racket, and you have to stay firm and punch through it.
2-all.
Games are 2-all. Vitas Gerulaitis serving in the near court. 2-all. That is only the 6th first serve out of 14 that he has had in play. Meanwhile, Nastasi has put 7 of 9 first serves in play.
I think that is it. I think Vitas is
He's forcing
leaning
it a
forward a little bit too much, trying to get in. Let's see. Yes, he's forcing it. Oh!
Top spin back there. But what set it up was the return with the top spin, because that means when you come to net, you're hitting everything back up. Not only is it spinning, but you're hitting it back up. You're hitting it up. You're hitting it up. And that can get old in a hurry.
And Nastasi is moving forward on every ball. I don't know why Vitas is needing the towel every other point. Slippery grip.
It is 2-all in the set. 21-15 in the match. Los Angeles leading. Double fault.
1-2.
His 4th double fault.
5th of the night.
Going back to the men's doubles. And so it is now the serve of Gerulaitis against the serve of Nastasi. And Nastasi has shown it in his first serve. Gerulaitis now has lost the advantage. It was outside.
2-all.
No complaint from Nastasi. This is a new man out here tonight. This is not the man we saw 2 weeks ago. He is not the predictable blow-your-stack-ily Nastasi we've seen all along.
3-2. He's got himself in an interesting little bind here, though. Let's face it. He's the coach, and his teammates have won 3 sets and have given him the lead. He cannot afford. Now, it's up to you. Now he has to produce. A little different than the pressure just being on you. Now you've got everybody else to contend with.
Game New York.
In the men's singles, Gerulaitis leading 3-2. Nastasi serving in the far court.
The visiting team serves first in the singles. The home team gets the advantage of serving first in all 3 doubles sets.
Ilie Nastasi now has 75% of his first services in play.
And he's hitting bombs.
Yes. There's another one.
A lot of spin on them, too.
He has 5 outright winners on his first serve. Missed a little chip shot.
2-1.
Nastasi is in control.
He's in control of himself.
Yes, end of the match. I love that.
It was wonderful. That, they say, is Nastasi's problem. He can't put away a volley. He plays too much cat and mouse. And his serve's taking him out of trouble.
Yes.
Really snapping his wrist in there, getting his whole body through. Nastasi moving forward at the ball, something he hasn't done in maybe a year.
Another winner off of his first serve.
Game Los Angeles.
Before tonight's match, Lynn Shackelford talked to Vitas Gerulaitis.
Vitas, since the Italian Open, you've come back and you've won 3 straight sets 6-1. You must be playing pretty well.
I'm not playing too badly. I was surprised when I just came back from, the clay over there to come over and the next night to play well against Roach. And I guess I've kept on playing pretty well after that. So we've won a couple doubles. Unfortunately, our team hasn't won many of their matches since I've returned. So I think we're just going to try and really pull together and win this match today, because it's an important match, because other teams are catching up to us in our division on the East. And today's going to be a big match because LA, I think, is going to get up for it, because they're going to have a pretty big crowd here tonight, and I think everybody's going to play pretty well.
You're the defending Italian Open last year, and you went over there this year and lost in the first round. That had to be a surprise to many, maybe yourself.
Well, I just, wasn't that well prepared. I was lucky last year to get an easy first and second round. And, this year I happened to come upon a little bit tougher opponent in the first round. So, I was a little disappointed. But after, I won WCT the week before that. So, that made me feel a little bit better.
Nothing against Indianapolis, but is it better playing in New York this year?
It's better in one way and it's worse in another way. There's a little bit more pressure playing in New York. Press sometimes gets on you if you lose a set here or there. And, sometimes they accuse you that maybe everybody's kind of taking it easy because they're getting paid salaries, and which obviously isn't true. We're professional athletes, and we're going to try as hard as we can every time we get out on the court, whether we feel sick or we've got a slight injury. And a lot of times the people don't know what we're playing with. So, it's better because I can stay home and spend a little bit more time, and it's great.
You think you'll beat Ilie Nastase 6-0?
No, I'm pretty sure that I won't beat him 6-0, because he's one of the greatest players, that are playing right now in team tennis. And he's also one of the luckiest players also. And, I just have to be lucky myself, and I'll play well, just as long as he doesn't give me too many fingers.
At 3-all in the men's singles, Vitas Gerulaitis will be serving in the far court to Ilie Nastase in the near court, along with Julie Hellman, Lynn Shackelford at courtside. This is Charlie Jones. We're at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Cross court. Yes. Vitas did not have a chance either way. 0-2. Nastase now wants the service break. A little sloppy on the shot.
Not bad, though. The reason I say not bad is I have watched him for weeks here in Los Angeles move backwards and poke at his backhand, and that one he at least moved into and went for it.
Three in the set. Nastase got it up, and it's 2-all.
That's how those topspin shots can go wrong. Sometimes if you don't really get a big piece of the ball, it'll sit up for a while. The way you see Borg hit a lot of mishits, they sit up that way.
Two, three.
Gerulaitis trying to get in lightning fast. He's just trying to jump all over the net. What we said he had to do in the beginning. But he's just making a few too many mistakes, and Nastase's being great.
And he's got to serve like that. Then he can put it away. Nastase gets it. And he throws it. I can't believe it. Nastase with a great get court wide open.
Yeah, and there, Nastase, who else could have gotten that? But the Nastase of old, I don't know what happened to Vitas. He got caught up.
Los Angeles leading 4-3 with a service break. Nastase serving in the near court. Gentle lob. Good touch.
That's magnificent tennis. And the ball just dropped out of Nastase's pocket. I don't know what he's looking at the ball boy.
No, I was wondering the same thing, because when he was coming back, it came out a moment ago and he turned and saw it.
Well, this can be telling. In weeks gone by, Nastase would have lost his cool completely, and that would have been the end of him. Just one ball dropping. Now he's composing himself. He's really a different player.
If he continues to play like this, will he be a force at Wimbledon?
Yes and no. Those ground strokes are awfully long for the grass at Wimbledon.
I liked your answer, yes and no.
That was a firm maybe.
Yeah, a definite.
One wonders what is wrong with Vitas tonight. He's missing an awful lot of serves. Maybe it's what he said to me earlier. I said, Vitas, you're looking a little thin. And he said, yeah, well, I've been staying out late a few times, having a good time.
0-2. Strong serve of Nastase. He has had the first serve in play 14 of 17 times.
That's fantastic.
That is. 1-2. Eight outright winners on a first serve.
Yeah, it's no powder puff.
No. 2-0. Gerlaitis has to break here, the key game in 4 games to 3. He's down. Now you guess it. Second time in the set on an easy put away.
Nastase trying his heart out up in the stands.
3-2.
And Vitas obliges with a teeny error.
3-2. Game to Nastase. Los Angeles leads 5-3.
Game Los Angeles.
Here's the situation. Vitas Gerlaitis, who has had a problem with his serve, has been broken one time, is serving in the far court, and he trails 3-5 in the set. Nastase already has the break. He can relax here if he wants to, as well as he's serving. Let's see how he plays it. A little sloppy.
Yes, he could relax, but this is team tennis. And in team tennis, every game you get helps your team. So you want to nail the coffin once you got the guy by the throat. Sounded pretty awful, didn't it?
But it's true. Another sloppy backhand.
And I got to tell you, you're right. He is definitely, whether he means to or not, relaxing a little bit.
Now, we've mentioned it earlier. He has 80% of Nastase's first serves have been in play, and that is the level, that's championship level, that's Wimbledon championship level, U.S. national championship level. So he is very confident of his serve, so save yourself. I really believe that's what he's doing in this situation.
And his team
Because there's
is
no guarantee that he goes all out,
really,
you know, and still can beat Gerlaitis. If Gerlaitis played well, he's had a problem with his service. That's it.
And Los Angeles is ahead by 8 games at the moment.
Gerlaitis with 4 double faults, for example. He has had a problem. Gerlaitis has been getting only 55% of his first services in play.
And Gerlaitis still sweating aplenty.
Perspiring. Horses sweat. Tennis players perspire.
No, it's women who aren't supposed to do that stuff. This is the modern era, though. Did you see how Nastase moved 2 feet inside the baseline to hit that backhand? He is being just incredible. Tried it again.
Yep.
Racket turned his hand.
Game to New York. 5-4. Strings lead in the set. Ilie Nastase serving to win the set. And 80% of his first serves have been in play.
Well, to use the term everybody dislikes, this is choke time if you're going to do it. We'll see how much metal Nastase has.
Double fault. His first double fault.
Well, Nastase is not exactly a choke supreme. He doesn't choke a great deal, but it's possible.
Touch, and a touch back with an angle. He'll get it. He goes deep and puts it away. Don't play Nastasi's game at the net. One all.
Of course, Vitas won the last one of those little catty mousy things.
Strong first. Overhead, he'll put it away. 2-1.
2-1.
He looked as tall as Wilt Chamberlain, who's in the crowd here tonight.
Sitting right. You asked, is Wilt really that tall? I walked out intermission. He is. I said hello to his belt buckle.
Two all.
2-all.
We have had excellent tennis this evening.
Would have expected it from these great players. I think he just said, don't worry, I'm going to get this thing.
Outside.
Second serve. 2 points all, second serve. Big point.
It's too high. He'll put it away.
Can't believe Nastasi with that huge top-in volley. Did you see him there? He was
3-2.
taunting the New York bench. Just loves to taunt people, and he's got himself, with all of the craziness, the set point.
All call. Good call. It's a good call. Vitas noted. There it is. Vintage Nastasi. He wins 6-4.
After 4 sets, LA, who hadn't lost a set all night, led New York by 8 games, 25-17. In the mixed doubles, Ilie Nastasi taunted the New York bench, and Ann Kiyomura played her normally fabulous doubles. But still, Ray Ruffles and Billie Jean King were able to hold their confident opponents to 3-all.
In the mixed doubles, we're at 3-all. And Kiyomura serving for Los Angeles, and she is serving to Billie Jean King of New York. Her partner, Ilie Nastasi. Billie Jean's partner, Ray Ruffles. Nastasi's been giving her the alley, and she finally took it.
Billie Jean King's backhand, one of the best in the game, always lethal. She took the gift.
Annie, a bit of a problem with her first serve in this match, in this set. She only had 2 of her 6 first serves in play, first time she served. Good get. Good angle.
Oh, yes, this Los Angeles team has been working together. 2 weeks ago, they just didn't look like one knit unit, and now they look like well-trained athletes who know where they're all going.
She held him off as long as she could.
That's true. That's right. Each ball was getting shorter.
2-all. Should have had that one. 2-3.
And this puts the Strings in a bit of a predicament. They lose Annie's serve, They're down a service break. If they lose the set, then they have to go into overtime. Ray Ruffles was playing that backhand not for tonight, but for next week. He's trying to get his feel. He's just trying to hit out to find his strokes again.
Billie Jean King will now be serving for New York. The Strings leading in the set 4-3, and in the match 29-20. Good return. Excellent return. One off.
Good eye. Or as they say in Australia, good eye. That means hello in Australia.
A little high. Nastasia put it away.
Nastasi's forehand volley is no longer conventional, but at least he's hitting it hard now. He's taking that great big bullwhip stroke. Billie Jean's serve looks like it has a lot of punch to it.
Good return. Super return. 1-3. Los Angeles looking for the break to make it 5-3. Then Nastasi serve to wrap it up. Not there yet. 2-3.
Yeah, Annie was in this predicament a while ago. Now Nastasi's pulling Annie back. Both on the baseline.
Wonder why he does that. I still don't understand that strategy.
Perhaps he's just having a little trouble with the first serve. Wants to make extra sure.
And also gives Billie Jean a different look when she serves.
True.
Down
Very true.
Outside. Ilie Nastasi will be serving. And he is serving for the match. Leading by 10, 30-20. And all Los Angeles needs to do is to win here, and they have it for the evening. Almost pulled the angle off. 1-all. Nastasi continues to serve magnificently.
With power and spin.
And 80% of his first service is in play. Service ace. The third of the match.
To set up match point.
Here it is, 3-1. Oh, he wanted it on another ace. Greedy little devil.
It's his night. He has a right to be greedy.
Spin to the forehand. Yes. Ilie Nastasi, the hero for the Strings, as they defeat New York by a score of 31-20. Now let's go down to courtside. Here's Lynn Shackelford. Lynn?
Ilie, you probably maybe would think it's great coaching. You guys won all 5 sets tonight against a very good team. You can't do any better.
Well, it never happened to us. It happened against a good team. So, well, I was very happy, and everybody was playing his best, I think, tonight. I'm thinking about Chris. She won 7-6, but the other girl played great, and I think she was doing great to beat her. and everybody played well. Even Vijay and Ashok, they played great in the doubles. They won 6-3.
And your serving, though, was in particular outstanding.
I was playing pretty good. I didn't play for a long time like this, and I'm happy that we win all our matches home. We never lose a match yet, so it's a good effort from my team.
You really do like this coaching, don't you, as well as playing?
I don't mind. I'm just a friend with them. I'm not the coach.
Okay, congratulations. Good luck.
Thanks.
Charlie Jones, that was a wonderful night of tennis, wasn't it? And it looked like Ilie Nastase brought his team to a whole new place.
Yes, it was exciting to watch him. He's always been a very exciting athlete, a controversial athlete, as everyone knows. But the thing that impressed me, and something that I've always felt, that if he would just play tennis, he's a great athlete. He can do almost anything in the world. If he would just, put his head to it and play tennis, I don't think he needs all that other garbage that he's gone through. And maybe he is now going to do that. And when he does, he could be one of the great ones again. It's great to see him come back. I love to watch him play. He's so exciting.
Yeah, me too. And talking about great ones, what did you think of Billie Jean after that illness coming back tonight?
I was a little disappointed in her. I thought she would be more tournament sharp. I thought she'd be to a finer edge, and perhaps the layoff bothered her a little bit more, and the sickness, and she's just not there yet, and it'll take just a little while, and she'll be back amongst them.
Well, to wrap up once again, it's Los Angeles 31, New York 20. Be sure to be with us again next Thursday night when we go to St. Louis, where the Sunbelt Nets face the Anaheim Oranges. Right now, stay tuned for Marathon Man, coming up next on HBO. Tonight's telecast was produced by Howard Reifsnyder and directed by Joe Loomis. From the fabulous forum in Inglewood, California, this is Julie Heldman with Charlie Jones and Lynn Shackelford saying good night. This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.